My name is Christine Tarver. I teach 5th grade at Lewis Carroll Elementary in Brevard County. My students love utilizing the mystemkits.com resources because they are engaging and they are fun. I wasn't even sure about using a 3D printer in my classroom, and quite frankly it was a little bit scary. But now that I have my own 3D printer in my classroom and I'm currently printing 3D resources from mystemkits.com, I've realized how easy it is and how accessible it is to bring this type of resource and technology into my classroom. And it is something that excites my kids every day. They always ask me every morning, are we printing something today? And I'm excited when I can say, yes, we are. The payback that you get in student engagement and active learning is worth every second that it takes to prepare. If you think about a student moving from kindergarten all the way up to 5th grade, utilizing these resources for 6 years, by the time they're in 5th grade, their conceptual understanding of the geometric terms that we're responsible for teaching in elementary school is going to be mind-blowing. So as my students are working with the 3D printed manipulatives, I kind of step back. I let it be very inquiry-based, and I see what they can do. It's a great formative assessment opportunity to see where my children are currently before we really dive deep into a topic. And then it allows them to kind of self-fix misconceptions that they might have without me hovering over and fixing things right away. And then when they're making mistakes or they're working through their understanding, it's very, very easy to put their finger on a shape and just slide it across their desk into the correct category. And they feel more successful in doing that. When you're working on a worksheet or you're working through a textbook and you're just writing, it's a mundane task anyway as it is. And I have found in my years of teaching that my students aren't as active in their own learning. But when they're using resources like this that are very kinesthetic and they can move and flow in different directions, then they are much more adept at figuring out where they've gone wrong or where they need to make changes. You can take the 3D shapes and turn them into centers. You can glue magnets on them and place them on your board. You can include them in anchor charts. So they're a really versatile tool to address many different needs that you might have in the classroom. In addition to just being a fun resource to use, they are unlike anything that I've really come across in all of my years of teaching. So we're used to seeing geometry shapes and kits from educational places where you really truly only get a couple examples, and they might be exemplar examples. But the benefits of using the MyStem kits is that the shapes they have included in them are distractors. So shapes that might look like a triangle but don't actually fit the defining attributes of a triangle. And so what your students will need to do is really process, well, do I know the defining attributes of that shape? And they'll start to have friendly discourse with one another about, well, this shape is an octagon. Well, no, it's not an octagon. It doesn't look like a stop sign. And that's what we really need to pull out of our students. And when students begin to realize that they need to look at a shape and analyze its defining attributes to really determine what it is, we are deepening their conceptual understanding of geometry. So when they move past elementary school, they have this wonderful foundation of geometry laid for when they get into the harder topics in middle school and high school. And I just came out feeling so wow. I mean, I just didn't have another way to describe my students' reactions to the manipulatives, the way that I felt about my teaching, because it was so fun and engaging and exciting for my students, and they wanted to know why I had kept them so long from them and why we weren't using them every day. And so it made me feel really good about myself as a teacher. If you're thinking about integrating a digital resource such as a 3D printer, or you just want to know more about it, I would highly suggest going on to mystemkits.com and just checking it out. I think you'll be surprised at the ease in which you can begin integrating these types of resources into your instruction. And I feel as though it's part of my responsibility as an educator, teaching students that are so widely immersed in this digital age. I feel like these are things that are going to be ever present in my students' future careers. And so it feels kind of good to think that maybe experiences I'm giving them now in 5th grade might lay some foundation for what they might do in their professional careers later.